Welcome, dear listener, to this exciting summary of Isaac Asimov's Foundation and Empire, the second book in his iconic Foundation series. If you're new to the series, don't worry, we'll start with a brief recap of the first book, Foundation, before diving into the captivating world of Foundation and Empire. Foundation introduced us to Hari Seldon, a psychohistorian who developed a new branch of mathematics that can predict the future on a large scale. He foresaw the fall of the Galactic Empire and created two foundations at opposite ends of the galaxy to preserve human knowledge and shorten the ensuing Dark Age. Foundation and Empire picks up where Foundation left off, with the Foundation thriving under Mayor Salvor Hardin's wise leadership. However, a new threat emerges in the form of the dying Galactic Empire and its ambitious general, Bel Rios. Meanwhile, an enigmatic traitor named Lee Jenkins arrives at the Foundation, disrupting their way of life with his advanced technology. Asimov's characters are a highlight of the series, each with distinct motivations that drive the plot forward. Salvor Hardin is a shrewd and pragmatic leader who prioritizes the survival of the Foundation above all else. Bel Rios, on the other hand, is driven by his ambition to conquer the Foundation and prove himself worthy of the Empire's throne. Lee Jenkins adds an intriguing layer to the story, as a mysterious figure whose true motives remain unclear until later in the book. Through these characters, Asimov explores themes such as leadership, power, and the consequences of our actions. One of the most compelling aspects of Foundation and Empire is its exploration of the cyclical nature of history. The Foundation's leaders believe they can control their destiny through careful planning and strategy, but Asimov suggests that there are larger forces at play. This theme is reflected in the book's structure, as we see events unfold from different perspectives and time periods. Another notable aspect of Foundation and Empire is its use of science fiction tropes to explore real-world issues. The Galactic Empire's decline mirrors that of ancient Rome or any other great civilization in history. Asimov also touches on the dangers of unchecked ambition, as seen in Bel Rios' obsession with conquering the Foundation. But perhaps the most impressive aspect of Foundation and Empire is its prescient depiction of technology and its impact on society. While some of Asimov's predictions have since been proven incorrect, such as his vision of interstellar travel, others, like the use of robotics and artificial intelligence, remain relevant today. In conclusion, Foundation and Empire is a thrilling and thought-provoking addition to the Foundation series. Its complex characters, intricate plot, and timeless themes make it a must-read for any science fiction fan. Over the course of this summary, we'll delve deeper into these elements and explore how they contribute to the book's enduring appeal, so sit back, relax, and join us on this journey through the galaxy. Before we dive into the fascinating world of Foundation and Empire, let's take a brief moment to appreciate the brilliant mind behind this masterpiece, Isaac Asimov. Born in Petrovichi, Russia in 1920, Asimov immigrated to the United States with his family at the age of 3. He grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and went on to become one of the most influential science fiction writers of all time. Asimov was a prolific writer, producing or editing more than 500 books and an estimated 90,000 letters and postcards. His work covered various genres, including science fiction, mystery, history, and popular science. However, he is best known for his science fiction works, which include the Foundation series, the Robot series, and the novel I, Robot. The Foundation series, of which Foundation and Empire is the second book, is a collection of stories set in a distant future where humanity has colonized the Milky Way galaxy. The series explores the fall of the Galactic Empire and the rise of a new society, known as the Foundation. Asimov's vision of the future is both compelling and thought-provoking, drawing on his background in science to create a realistic and plausible universe. One of the most striking aspects of Asimov's writing is his ability to combine complex scientific concepts with engaging storytelling. He had a deep understanding of science, having earned a PhD in biochemistry from Columbia University in 1948. This knowledge is evident throughout Foundation and Empire, where he explores themes such as psychohistory, a mathematical science that can predict the future behavior of large groups of people. Asimov's characters are also noteworthy. In Foundation and Empire, we encounter a diverse cast of individuals, each with their own motivations and desires. From the ruthless traitor Hober Mallow to the loyal Foundation scientist Amo Brodrig, Asimov brings these characters to life with vivid detail and nuance. One of the most compelling characters in Foundation and Empire is the Mule, a mysterious figure who threatens the very existence of the Foundation. The Mule is a fascinating character, as he possesses the ability to manipulate the emotions of others, making him a formidable opponent. Asimov skillfully builds tension throughout the novel, as we wonder whether the Foundation will be able to overcome this powerful foe. Themes of power and control are also prevalent in Foundation and Empire. The Galactic Empire, once a dominant force in the galaxy, is now crumbling, and new powers are emerging to take its place. The Foundation, with its emphasis on science and technology, represents one such power. However, the Mule's ability to manipulate others challenges the Foundation's belief in the power of reason and logic. Asimov's exploration of these themes is particularly relevant today, as we grapple with issues of power and control in our own world. His vision of a future where science and technology play a critical role in shaping society is especially prescient, as we continue to see the impact of technological advancements on our daily lives. In conclusion, Isaac Asimov was a truly remarkable writer and thinker, whose work continues to captivate audiences today. Foundation and Empire is a prime example of his ability to combine complex scientific concepts with engaging storytelling, creating a universe that is both compelling and thought-provoking. From its diverse cast of characters to its exploration of themes such as power and control, Foundation and Empire is a must-read for any science fiction fan. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey through the galaxy as we explore the fascinating world of Isaac Asimov's imagination. Foundation and Empire is the second book in Isaac Asimov's legendary Foundation series. This series, which includes 7 volumes, is considered one of the greatest achievements in science fiction literature. The series as a whole has won numerous awards, including the prestigious Hugo Award for Best All-Time Series. Foundation and Empire picks up where the first book, Foundation, left off. The Galactic Empire, once the dominant force in the galaxy, is in decline. In its place, a new power is rising, the Foundation, a group of scientists and engineers who have used their knowledge to create a stable society on the periphery of the galaxy. In Foundation and Empire, we see the Foundation's influence grow as they successfully predict and navigate various crises. However, they soon face a new threat, the Empire itself, which has not yet fallen but is now controlled by a ruthless general named Bel Rios. Rios sees the Foundation as a threat to his power and sets out to conquer them. At the same time, we are introduced to a new character, the Mule, a mutant warlord who has the ability to control the minds of others. The Mule becomes a major player in the story, eventually taking over the Empire and setting his sights on the Foundation. One of the most interesting aspects of Foundation and Empire is its exploration of themes such as power and control. Through the characters of Rios and the Mule, Asimov examines what happens when individuals seek to wield too much power. Both men are ultimately undone by their own ambition, highlighting the dangers of unchecked power. Another theme that runs throughout the book is the idea of prediction and destiny. The Foundation's success is largely due to their ability to predict future events and plan accordingly. However, they are caught off guard by both Rios and the Mule, who seem to appear out of nowhere and disrupt their plans. This raises questions about whether or not the future can truly be predicted and if individuals have any control over their own destinies. The characters in Foundation and Empire are also worth noting. Asimov is known for his diverse casts, and this book is no exception. We have characters from all walks of life, including scientists, soldiers, politicians, and mutants. Each character has their own motivations and goals, adding depth and complexity to the story. One of the most intriguing characters is the Mule. He is a tragic figure, born with immense power but also great loneliness. His ability to control minds makes him virtually invincible, yet he longs for companionship and love. This inner conflict adds a layer of humanity to an otherwise ruthless character. In conclusion, Foundation and Empire is a thrilling addition to the Foundation series. Its exploration of themes such as power and destiny, combined with its diverse cast of characters, make it a must-read for any science fiction fan. Whether you're new to the series or have read the previous book, Foundation and Empire will keep you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Foundation and Empire, penned by the legendary science fiction author Isaac Asimov, is the second book in his iconic Foundation series. This novel continues the saga of the Foundation, a group of scientists and engineers who have created a mathematical basis for predicting human behavior known as psychohistory. The first book in the series, Foundation, detailed the early days of the Foundation, its establishment, and the initial challenges it faced in maintaining order amidst political turmoil and external threats. Foundation and Empire picks up roughly a century after the events of the first book. At this point, the Foundation has expanded significantly and now exerts considerable influence over various planets within its sphere of control. However, the existence of an entity called the Empire still poses a significant threat to the Foundation's security. The Empire is a vast, centralized political structure ruled by an emperor, with countless star systems under its dominion. The novel features 2 major storylines that eventually converge into a thrilling climax. The first narrative arc revolves around a military general named Bel Rios, who becomes obsessed with conquering the Foundation and adding it to the Empire's territory. Despite warnings from his advisors about the potential consequences of such a campaign, Rios is determined to prove himself as a great conqueror and expand the Empire's reach. Meanwhile, the second narrative arc concerns the Foundation itself. A mysterious figure known as the Mule emerges with an uncanny ability to manipulate human emotions, allowing him to control others' actions and decisions. The Mule sets his sights on the Foundation, hoping to use its resources to further his own ambitions. Throughout Foundation and Empire, Asimov explores themes such as power and destiny. Rios's pursuit of conquest demonstrates how human ambition can lead individuals to make rash decisions, often with disastrous consequences. On the other hand, the Mule's ability to control others raises questions about free will and the nature of individual agency. The diverse cast of characters in Foundation and Empire adds depth to the story and keeps readers engaged. Rios is a complex figure, driven by ambition yet also capable of compassion and empathy. The Mule, initially introduced as an antagonist, gradually becomes a sympathetic character due to his unique circumstances and tragic past. In terms of analysis, one can't overlook the prescient nature of Asimov's work. Although Foundation and Empire was published in 1952, it explores concepts that remain relevant today. For instance, Rios's belief in his own exceptionalism echoes sentiments held by many political leaders throughout history. Similarly, the mule's manipulation of emotions can be seen as an allegory for contemporary issues related to propaganda and mass media. In conclusion, Foundation and Empire is a captivating addition to Asimov's Foundation series. Its exploration of themes such as power and destiny, combined with its diverse cast of characters, make it a must-read for any science fiction fan. Whether you're new to the series or have read the previous book, Foundation and Empire will keep you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Sure, let's dive into the fall of the first Foundation in Isaac Asimov's Foundation and Empire. The first Foundation, established by Hari Seldon, has been growing in power and influence for over a century. However, its hubris ultimately leads to its downfall. The first Foundation is led by Mayor Inbert III, who is more concerned with maintaining his own power than the well-being of the Foundation. He is surrounded by sycophants who tell him what he wants to hear, rather than providing objective advice. This lack of critical thinking and strategic planning leaves the first Foundation vulnerable to attack. The Mule, a mutant warlord with the ability to control minds, emerges as the main threat to the first Foundation. He has conquered much of the galaxy and is now setting his sights on the Foundation. The Mule's power lies in his ability to manipulate people's emotions and thoughts, making it difficult for them to resist his commands. The first Foundation tries to mount a defense against the Mule, but their efforts are hampered by internal politics and a lack of unity. The various factions within the Foundation cannot agree on a course of action, leading to confusion and indecision. This infighting plays right into the hands of the Mule, who is able to pick off the Foundation's forces one by one. One of the most interesting aspects of the fall of the first Foundation is the role of Beta Durrell, a young woman from Terminus. She is initially skeptical of the Seldon plan and its supposed infallibility. However, as she becomes more involved in the defense of the Foundation, she begins to see its value. Beta is instrumental in uncovering the true nature of the Mule and his abilities. She also plays a key role in finding a way to defeat him. Through her actions, Beta demonstrates the importance of individual agency and critical thinking, even in the face of overwhelming power. Another important theme in the fall of the first Foundation is the danger of relying too heavily on technology. The Foundation has become so dependent on its mathematical models and predictions that they have forgotten how to think for themselves. This reliance on technology leaves them vulnerable to attack, as they are unable to adapt to new situations. The Mule's victory over the first Foundation serves as a wake-up call for the rest of the galaxy. It shows that even the most advanced technologies and mathematical models cannot account for every variable. The fall of the first Foundation highlights the importance of adaptability, critical thinking, and individual agency in the face of overwhelming power. In conclusion, the fall of the first Foundation in Foundation and Empire is a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris, reliance on technology, and internal politics. The Mule's victory serves as a wake-up call for the rest of the galaxy, reminding them of the importance of adaptability, critical thinking, and individual agency. Through the character of Beta Durrell, Asimov shows that even in the face of overwhelming power, individuals can make a difference. It is a thrilling and thought-provoking read that will leave you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Hey there, I hope you've been enjoying our discussion on Isaac Asimov's Foundation and Empire so far. In this section, we're going to delve into one of the most intriguing characters in the book, the Mule. The Mule is a fascinating figure because he completely upends the series' initial premise. Up until his appearance, the Foundation series has been all about Hari Seldon's predictions and the inevitability of history. But then comes along this unpredictable mutant who throws a wrench into everything. Now, the Mule doesn't just win battles or conquer planets through brute force. Instead, he uses his psychological powers to manipulate people's emotions, causing them to act against their own self-interest. This makes him an incredibly dangerous opponent, as he can turn allies into enemies and vice versa with a mere thought. What's even more intriguing is how the Mule's rise to power exposes the vulnerabilities of both the Foundation and the Empire. Despite their advanced technology and supposed superiority, neither can resist the Mule's influence. It's a humbling reminder that no matter how powerful or technologically advanced a civilization may be, it still consists of individuals who are susceptible to manipulation. Speaking of which, let's talk about the Mule's interactions with our protagonist, Beta Durrell. Their relationship is complex and multi-layered, marked by fear, admiration, and even a strange sort of respect. Beta initially fears the Mule, but eventually comes to understand him, seeing him not just as a tyrant, but as a lonely, isolated figure yearning for connection. This brings us to an interesting theme in Foundation and Empire, the struggle between individual agency and determinism. The Mule, with his ability to control minds, seems to embody determinism, while Beta, with her courage and resourcefulness, represents individual agency. Their interactions raise thought-provoking questions about free will, fate, and the nature of power. As we've seen throughout the book, Asimov is a master at exploring big ideas through compelling characters and gripping narratives. The mule is no exception. He's not just a villain to be defeated, but a complex character who challenges our assumptions and makes us question our own beliefs. In conclusion, the rise of the mule in Foundation and Empire adds a new layer of complexity to Asimov's exploration of history, power, and individual agency. Through the mule's interactions with Beta Darrell, we see the struggle between determinism and free will played out on a personal level, making for a thrilling and thought-provoking read. Thanks for joining me on this section of our audiobook summary. I hope you're as excited as I am to see what else Asimov has in store for us in the rest of the series. Absolutely! I'm thrilled to continue our journey through Isaac Asimov's Foundation and Empire, where we left off with a fascinating exploration of determinism versus free will. Now, let's dive into the search for the Second Foundation, which adds another layer of intrigue to this already captivating story. The Second Foundation, an organization that has harnessed the power of mentalics, people with powerful psychic abilities, remains hidden from both the First Foundation and the Galactic Empire. The First Foundation, established by Hari Seldon, relies on mathematical science and technology to preserve human knowledge and culture in the face of the Empire's collapse. In contrast, the Second Foundation focuses on using mentalics to subtly manipulate events throughout the galaxy. The search for the Second Foundation intensifies when a rogue mentalic named the Mule emerges, disrupting Seldon's carefully planned psychohistory and threatening to dominate the entire galaxy. The Mule is unique because he not only has mentalic abilities, but can also alter genetics to control emotions and bend individuals to his will. This combination makes him an incredibly formidable foe for both the First Foundation and the still-hidden Second Foundation. Asimov cleverly weaves a complex web of intrigue around the pursuit of the Second Foundation, with various characters from the First Foundation embarking on their own quests to uncover its location. Some seek the Second Foundation as an ally in the fight against the Mule, while others aim to eliminate it entirely to protect their own power and independence. One intriguing character is General Han Pritcher, a high-ranking officer in the Empire's military who is initially loyal to the Emperor but becomes disillusioned after encountering the Mule. Pritcher joins the search for the Second Foundation, believing that it may hold the key to defeating the Mule and restoring order to the galaxy. However, his motivations are not entirely altruistic. He also wants to secure a position of power for himself within the new order. Another notable character is Bale Chanis, an ambitious historian from the First Foundation who becomes obsessed with discovering the location of the Second Foundation. He believes that understanding its secrets will grant him unparalleled knowledge and influence. However, his obsession ultimately proves to be his downfall, as he underestimates the power and cunning of the Second Foundation's mentalics. The search for the Second Foundation raises thought-provoking questions about the nature of power and the consequences of wielding it. Asimov explores the dangers of absolute power through the Mule's ruthless conquest, as well as the potential pitfalls of knowledge and influence in the pursuit of the Second Foundation. Throughout Foundation and Empire, Asimov masterfully balances complex themes with engaging storytelling, making for a captivating read that challenges readers to think deeply about the implications of determinism, free will, power, and knowledge. The search for the Second Foundation is just one example of how he deftly weaves these themes into an unforgettable narrative that continues to inspire generations of science fiction fans. In conclusion, the search for the Second Foundation adds another layer of intrigue to Foundation and Empire, as various characters from the First Foundation embark on their own quests to uncover its location. Asimov's exploration of power, knowledge, and the consequences of wielding them raises thought-provoking questions that challenge readers to think deeply about these themes. With its engaging storytelling and complex characters, Foundation and Empire remains a classic in the science fiction genre that continues to inspire new generations of readers. In Foundation and Empire, Isaac Asimov explores several themes that continue to resonate with readers today. One of the most prominent themes is the cyclical nature of history. The concept of psychohistory, which underpins the entire series, posits that human behavior follows predictable patterns over time. This allows Hari Seldon to forecast the fall of the Galactic Empire and the subsequent Dark Age that will follow. Throughout the novel, we see evidence of this cyclical nature play out in various ways. The first half of the book focuses on the Foundation's efforts to stave off an impending barbarian invasion led by a warlord named Anacreon. However, after successfully defending themselves, the Foundation finds itself facing a new threat from within, a military coup. This illustrates how even when one crisis is resolved, another often arises to take its place. Another theme that Asimov explores is the role of individual agency in shaping history. While psychohistory predicts general trends, it cannot account for the actions of particular individuals. For instance, the Mule, a mutant warlord who emerges in the second half of the book, disrupts Seldon's carefully laid plans by using his mental abilities to manipulate others. The Mule's unpredictable behavior underscores the limits of psychohistory and highlights the potential for individuals to make a significant impact on the course of history. The character of the Mule also raises questions about the nature of power and leadership. At first glance, he seems like a typical despot, using fear and manipulation to bend others to his will. However, as we learn more about him, it becomes clear that his motivations are more complex than they initially appear. He longs for connection and belonging, but has been unable to find it due to his unique abilities. This makes him both sympathetic and dangerous, adding depth to his character and making him one of Asimov's most memorable creations. The Mule's rise to power also challenges the Foundation's own assumptions about governance and leadership. The Foundation has long relied on its scientific prowess and technological advancements to maintain its dominance. However, these tools prove inadequate against the Mule's mental abilities. This forces the Foundation to reconsider its approach to leadership and adopt new strategies to counter the Mule's threat. In terms of impact, Foundation and Empire has had a lasting influence on the science fiction genre. It helped establish many of the conventions that would come to define the genre, such as galactic empires, interstellar travel, and advanced technology. Additionally, Asimov's exploration of themes like the cyclical nature of history and the role of individual agency continues to inspire new generations of writers and readers. Moreover, Foundation and Empire has left a significant mark on popular culture beyond the realm of science fiction. Its ideas and concepts have been referenced and adapted in various forms of media, including film, television, and video games. The concept of psychohistory in particular has captured the imagination of many, prompting discussions about the predictability of human behavior and the role of free will in shaping our world. In conclusion, Foundation and Empire is a rich and thought-provoking novel that explores timeless themes through engaging storytelling and complex characters. Its enduring appeal lies in its ability to challenge readers to think deeply about questions related to history, power, leadership, and individual agency. Whether you're a fan of science fiction or simply enjoy well-crafted narratives, Foundation and Empire is a worthy addition to any reader's shelf. Sure thing! Here's my analysis of key themes in Foundation and Empire. Foundation and Empire by Isaac Asimov is a fascinating exploration of history, power, leadership, and individual agency. At its core, the novel is about the rise and fall of civilizations and how individuals can shape the course of history. One of the most striking themes in the book is the cyclical nature of history. Asimov posits that civilizations rise and fall according to predictable patterns, which he calls psychohistory. The Foundation, a group of scientists and engineers led by Hari Seldon, has used psychohistory to predict the impending collapse of the Galactic Empire and establish a colony on the periphery of the galaxy to preserve human knowledge and culture. However, as we see in the novel, even the most accurate predictions can be upended by unforeseen events and individual actions. The Mule, a powerful mutant with the ability to control minds, emerges as a wildcard who threatens to disrupt the Foundation's plans and extend his own empire. This serves as a reminder that while patterns may exist in history, individuals can still exert their will and make a difference. Another key theme in the book is the nature of power and leadership. The Galactic Empire, which has ruled for over 12,000 years, is depicted as corrupt and decadent, with a ruling class that is more interested in maintaining its own privilege than serving the needs of the people. In contrast, the Foundation presents a different model of leadership based on meritocracy, expertise, and a commitment to the common good. However, even the Foundation's leaders are not immune from the corrupting influence of power. As the novel progresses, we see how some of them become increasingly authoritarian and willing to sacrifice individual freedoms for the sake of collective security. This raises important questions about the trade-offs between liberty and order, and the dangers of concentrating too much power in the hands of a few. The character of the Mule is also instructive in this regard. As a mutant with the ability to control minds, he represents a form of absolute power that is both terrifying and seductive. The Mule himself is a complex figure, torn between his desire for conquest and his yearning for human connection. His ultimate fate serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of humility and self-awareness. A related theme in the book is the role of individual agency in shaping history. While psychohistory may predict broad trends, it cannot account for the actions of individuals who can make a difference in their own lives and the lives of others. This is exemplified by the character of Beta Durrell, a young woman who plays a pivotal role in uncovering the Mule's identity and thwarting his plans. Through Beta, Asimov shows how ordinary people can rise to extraordinary challenges and make a difference in the world. Her courage, intelligence, and resourcefulness serve as a reminder that while history may be shaped by larger forces, it is ultimately made up of individual actions and decisions. In conclusion, Foundation and Empire is a rich and thought-provoking novel that explores key themes related to history, power, leadership, and individual agency. Through its complex characters, vivid world-building, and compelling narrative, the book challenges readers to think deeply about the role of individuals in shaping the course of history and the trade-offs between liberty and order. Whether you're a fan of science fiction or simply enjoy well-crafted narratives, Foundation and Empire is a worthy addition to any reader's shelf. Hello there! I hope you're enjoying our discussion on Isaac Asimov's Foundation and Empire. In this section, I want to take a step back from the plot and characters of the book itself and talk about its author and his impact on the science fiction genre. Isaac Asimov is widely regarded as one of the big three of classic science fiction, alongside Arthur C. Clarke and Robert A. Heinlein. He was a prolific writer, producing over 500 works of fiction and non-fiction during his lifetime. But it's not just the volume of Asimov's output that has earned him such a prominent place in the history of science fiction. It's also the quality and influence of his writing. Asimov was a pioneer of hard science fiction, a subgenre that emphasizes scientific accuracy and logical rigor over fantastical elements. He famously said that he wrote stories to explain things, and his commitment to clarity and precision is evident throughout Foundation and Empire. The book's characters often engage in detailed discussions of mathematical concepts like psychohistory, and Asimov takes care to ensure that these ideas are grounded in real scientific principles. But while Foundation and Empire is undoubtedly a work of hard science fiction, it also features many elements that would become hallmarks of the genre as a whole. Asimov's exploration of themes like the limits of human knowledge, the potential dangers of artificial intelligence, and the impact of technology on society all resonate with contemporary readers. One of the most notable aspects of Foundation and Empire is its use of complex plot structures and interweaving storylines. The book is divided into two distinct sections, each featuring different characters and settings. This narrative approach allows Asimov to explore a wide range of ideas and perspectives while still maintaining a cohesive narrative thread. Another key element of Foundation and Empire is its exploration of political themes. The book raises questions about the nature of power and authority, and the trade-offs between liberty and order. Asimov's depiction of the Foundation as a quasi-democratic society struggling to maintain its independence in the face of external threats feels particularly relevant today. Of course, no discussion of Foundation and Empire would be complete without mentioning its iconic characters. From the enigmatic figure of Hari Seldon to the cunning machinations of Emperor Cleon II, Asimov's creations are richly drawn and compelling. Even minor characters, like the resourceful trader Bida Durrell, are imbued with a sense of depth and complexity that makes them feel real and relatable. All of these elements combine to make Foundation and Empire not just a great science fiction novel, but a seminal work in the genre as a whole. Asimov's influence can be seen in everything from the works of contemporary writers like Neil Stephenson and Kim Stanley Robinson to popular TV shows like Battlestar Galactica and The Expanse. In short, if you're a fan of science fiction or just enjoy well-crafted narratives, Foundation and Empire is a must-read. Its exploration of complex themes, its commitment to scientific accuracy, and its unforgettable characters all make it a timeless classic that continues to resonate with readers today. And even if you're not usually a fan of science fiction, there's still plenty to enjoy in Foundation and Empire. At its core, the book is a thought-provoking exploration of what it means to be human, and the challenges we face as we navigate an increasingly complex and interconnected world. So why not give it a try? You might just discover a new favorite author or genre along the way. 500 words, here we go. Asimov's Foundation and Empire is a fascinating exploration of psychohistory and its implications on human behavior. The concept of psychohistory, a mathematical science used to predict the future behavior of large groups of people, is both intriguing and thought-provoking. It raises questions about fate, free will, and the limits of human knowledge. The heart of the book is Hari Seldon, the creator of psychohistory. Seldon's predictions about the fall of the Galactic Empire and the subsequent Dark Age set the stage for the entire series. He argues that while individual actions may be unpredictable, the behavior of large groups can be calculated with great accuracy. This idea challenges traditional notions of free will, suggesting that our choices are predetermined by larger societal forces. Yet, Foundation and Empire also explores the limitations of psychohistory. Despite Seldon's best efforts to prepare for the future, unexpected events and individuals, such as the mule, disrupt his plans. This highlights the unpredictability of human behavior and the limits of our ability to control the world around us. Moreover, the characters in the book grapple with their own identities and motivations, further complicating the picture. The mule, a mutant warlord with the power to control minds, challenges Seldon's predictions and disrupts the course of history. His complex character, full of vulnerability and ambition, raises questions about the true nature of power and control. Meanwhile, the traders of the Foundation struggle to maintain their independence in a rapidly changing world. Their ingenuity and adaptability demonstrate the resilience of human creativity and the importance of individual agency. These characters, along with Seldon's predictions, contribute to a rich tapestry of themes and ideas that make Foundation and Empire a compelling read. But why should you read this book? Well, for one, it challenges your assumptions about the world and encourages critical thinking. By exploring the concept of psychohistory, Asimov raises questions about fate and free will that are still relevant today. The book also features complex characters and engaging plot twists that keep readers on the edge of their seats. Furthermore, Foundation and Empire is a timeless reflection on the challenges of leadership and decision-making in a rapidly changing world. Seldon's attempts to prepare for the future echo the efforts of leaders today to navigate complex global issues. The book offers valuable insights into the importance of adaptability, creativity, and resilience in the face of uncertainty. In short, Foundation and Empire is a thought-provoking exploration of psychohistory and human behavior that challenges readers to think critically about the world around them. Its engaging characters, intriguing plot twists, and timeless themes make it a must-read for anyone interested in science fiction or exploring the complexities of human nature. So why not give it a try? You might just discover a new favorite author or genre along the way. And there you have it, 500 words on the predictions about psychohistory and human behavior in Foundation and Empire. It's a fascinating topic that offers plenty of room for exploration and reflection. So, what are you waiting for? Dive into Asimov's world and discover its many wonders for yourself.